Just a minute, let me put on my audio track on recording and then we will. Sometime, yeah, that is good. So, you're a good husband, so that much we can say. What else we can say? So, yes, we when we live from a moment to moment, it means it is 24 by 7. So, when we succeed in meditation or mindfulness, it is an irreversible process. It cannot be reversed. Because it cannot be reversed, so our masters say it is awakening. Huh? It is awakening. We sometimes say it is a realization of who we are. We are not Girish, John, Andy, Sophie, Charlie. We are real self. That is what the realization is. Now, we have to think along the line the masters offers these principles. So when we wake up every day, we have been waking up for years and years and every day. We have been waking up to the same world of fear, insecurity, challenges, problems. So why it is known as awakening? All those problems are gone. Go step by step. Let us follow the intellect. So it is the intellect that knows what problems I had yesterday, today I don't have, tomorrow I don't have, next moment I don't have. Huh? I have my mind has nothing to blame, complain, and react. You all are intelligent. So now comes how my mind perceives, how my mind lives from moment to moment. Does it live like a mirror or does it live like a camera? That will make a sense. You will never forget this. That's why I'm using mirror hope. I rarely see the mirror because that's why I have grown beard. There's no need. I'm ready for the session. I'm ready for the session. But I can understand you have to look into the mirror a couple of times. Everything is okay. But now come to the main point. Mirror. You stand before the mirror. Mirror shows you the image. You leave the mirror. Mirror does not show any. Neither it carries any impression. It does not store any impression. Am I right? Thousands of people, millions of people can stand in front of the mirror and leave them. Mirror says, I'm done with. Thank you very much. I am free. I am untouched. we can live through our intellect, we can help the mind to live like a mirror. That is the journey when you might have heard and you have Googled out living from moment to moment. That is living from moment. But the mind does not understand. Mind says, how come John told me this? For example. No, it is not happening, but I'm just giving an example. Now think of the two choices, the mind working like a mirror and working like a camera. Camera stores the images, right? You might have the images of your childhood. Huh? When someone is taking a picture and you say, no, 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 delete that picture, take this picture. You deliberately smile and then, oh, this selfie is not good. That selfie is. Our master says that mind by default is natural. Do you remember? I talked about it. Mind by default is 90% natural, pure, clear. We have experienced that in our childhood. Spontaneous, bubbling. It was mirror and then it became camera. I know. Don't ask me what kind of a person John is. Impression. Camera, not a mirror. See what happens. Here the problem starts. When the mind is a camera, our behavior and attitude declares, I changed a lot, but you see, this guy, this girl never changes. We start blame, complaint, and reaction. Did you get it? Think of it. Think of it. No, 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 I don't want to talk to that person. It has become camera. Think of this. We are talking of the steady intellect. I have covered a couple of lessons. So, what happens when it is a camera? Intellect is veiled, confused when mind is a camera. Intellect can only find the knowledge when the mind is a mirror. In this journey, it is a precondition. Mind has to be like a mirror to allow the real self to reflect. Why it is a condition? I'm not going in detail, but just give you that in a personal, professional, and social life in the world, we are not educated to keep the mind like a mirror. So you see, richest man, Bill Gates, genius, donated billions of dollars. Personal life is worse. You have already heard it. Do you see that? So there is a big gap between our behavior and the knowledge. On the other side, I am known as the richest person because of a scammer. On one side, richest, on the other side. My master used to ask us that a person plays a flute excellent. At the same time, he is a thief. How do you rate that person? Is he a good guy or a bad guy? It is because of the mind, is a camera. We don't teach morality and ethics. No, you have to be good to. No, I have to be good to myself. That is the main point. I have to be good to myself, whatever the circumstances is. That means the mind is like a mirror. You do that, intellect will return in the front and it will make your life always in peace and happiness, love and wisdom. Do you still remember we talked about 3 diseases of the mind? It is created by the camera: attachment, sorrow, delusion. First is attachment or detachment that results into the severity of a disease, which is known as sorrow and suffering, and terminal cases, delusion, confusion in the mind. Attachment is weakness, it is emotional dependence. It results into sorrow. We have covered, I think. And then we live in delusion. In that delusion, we try to solve the problems of our life. Not possible. So when it is not possible, then we say, okay, let us do self-medication. I have already told you. Self-medication, vodka in front of me. Blame, complaint, and reaction reaches to the height that disturbs my sleep. And the person whom I blame, he or she is enjoying his good sleep. Have you seen, do you realize this? That mind is a camera. That mind is a camera. And that makes our life full of blame, complain, react, like, fight, laziness, craziness, obsessed. I already told you the story of a woman in New Jersey. She had a big smoke and a strong coffee, and then she said, okay, she is divorced. She got a couple of millions of dollars with a big house. I was surprised. So when this mind behaves like a camera, then what happens? That mind looks at the world, I'm a single, I have lot of expectation, attachment. So if I will get married, I'll be happy. That applies to every incident and event in our. I'm just using a parable. So after the marriage, again, I find there is no happiness. No, no, no. The sorrow has increased because of the marriage. So let me divorce, remarry. That journey continues. We don't realize this. You give me any example what has caused you the suffering, and if you realize the vicious circle of attachment, sorrow, and the suffering, that is the problem. It is universal. Attachment is universal. Briefly, I will point out that one is the beautiful universe we all have. Whether you go on vacation or you live at your home, the sun rises the same way. Are you clear? My perception in the vacation changes. That is why I say Oh, I went on vacation, or it may be a fashion. In US, if you don't say that I have not gone on vacation. Okay, okay. This guy is. Do you see that point? Whether it is this, you may see the beautiful landscape. No, I'm not against vacation. I'm only focused on the mind. What I have to do, you go anywhere. What I have to do with it. So why I'm concluding that point is that one universe is always beautiful, of people, of place, of time. And the other universe is created by the mind based on attachment, sorrow, and the delusion. We live in two universes. Are you getting it? That is the problem. Why it happens, I told you. Mind acts like a camera. It follows the same behavior and attitude. It has an element of attachment. Attachment is emotional dependence. Love is freedom. Attachment is a mental weakness. Love is a mental strength. Attachment hides the intellect. Love expresses the intellect. How it is easy when you are really in love. You can spontaneously say, I love. I'm in love. But when you have a crush at first sight, that is, let's say, love at first sight or whatever it is. When you say crush at first sight, you are always crushed. That is attachment. One thing is very clear, you are always crushed because you have a crush at first sight. I have 2 or 3 years. I have 3 clients who had a crush at first. It is better because that continues my profession. But no, it is your problem. So it continues my profession. So it is all a problem of ignorance. The intellect hides behind the mind that has created this universe, and we continue to suffer in our day-to-day life. You look at it. This is what our master says. Refine your intellect. Bring the intellect in front. Don't allow the mind to act like a camera, depending on emotional dependence causes sorrow and the suffering, leading to delusion. In delusion, we claim we are right. We claim we are not right. We claim we are right. Because my mind is constantly thinking and brooding, creating the same circle. Honey, I always loved you, but you never loved. I can give you hundreds of examples. I always took care of you, attachment, emotional dependence. Why I took care of you? So that I have lot of expectations from you. It is not love. Love is self-giving. You are good or bad, I love you. That is love. But if you are good, I love you. If you are bad, I hate you, is attachment. You can use this statement for anything. So the self-medication, I told you, the self-medication is makes you more crazy. And sometimes we cross the threshold limit. Are you getting it, what I want to say? By self-medication, you cross the threshold limit, addiction. Addiction. We say it's purely a mental problem. You cross another limit, then our great psychiatrist and psychotherapist enters your life. You cross another limit, find yourself. You know what I wanted. What did I tell you? A boy was swimming on a log of a wood, the river. We have many rivers here nearby, lake, many good lakes. Boy, I'm talking about the problem when the mind becomes camera. To a parable. Pay attention to it and think about it. So a boy was swimming with a log of wood in a river. He was holding the log of wood. After some time, he finds the log of wood is holding him. Charlie is surprised. I'm going to tell you. After some time, he realized this log of wood has two hands and legs. And after some time, he finds that log of wood also is hitting him on his back. In the very beginning, my friends, when we are attached, when we see here is a log of wood, I can swim. Everything is goody, happy. In attachment. But after some time, so that boy found that this is not log of wood, this is crocodile. Crocodile of attachment. Hits us. My master used to tell us the story. When you come to me, you don't realize you created that crocodile who lives with you. You started with a love. Oh, I love you, but I don't like you. So now, the problem starts. Remember, understand, camera, mirror. So then Master says, what should we do? That is where it comes. Intellect hides behind the camera because it lives in its own thoughts of reaction, of blame and complaint. It has its own universe. You see, that is what happens. Oh, you are criticizing your honey? I met him many a times. He seems to be a wonderful person. You know, the stranger finds the honey very wonderful. Your honey, wonderful. But I have created a universe based on this. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? It's a very subtle point. I have created a universe based on this attachment, sorrow, and the delusion. That is why I hate my honey. Still, I'm living 27 years loveless life. That example fits here. So intellect must come in front. This is what we teachers in the Eastern wisdom help everyone, that understanding is required. So we say there are 4 types of intellect. And we have to use these 4 types of intellect. It takes time, slowly, followed by the practice, and ultimately you live with that intellect. What is intellect? Intellect is knowledge. What is knowledge? Knowledge is understanding. What is understanding? Do you remember? I always say understanding is clarity. What is clarity? You filter out what is attachment, what is sorrow and suffering, and what is delusion. When the right knowledge is there in the intellect, it enters into the mind, our behavior and attitude changes. So 4 types of intellect. The first type of intellect, and then we will talk in detail. The first intellect, you can name it righteous intellect in society, profession, daily living. Righteous or righteousness or whatever you say, righteous intellect. This righteous intellect can only be realized when I rise above the body. When I have a clarity that I am not the body. You see the link. That is why we have to study it slowly. I'm not going there, what psychiatrist and what psychotherapist guide us. As long as I identify myself with the body, means I am the body. Body is an instrument. I use the car as an instrument. I use the watch as an instrument. I use the phone as an instrument. It may be dear to me and you. It's okay. But I maintain my awareness that I use the body. I am not the body. Body belongs to me, right? But I am not the body. Righteous intellect instantly drops the wandering mind. Think of it. If you don't get it, then we will take up next week little deeper. Righteous intellect shows how to be free from fear and the grief. It's a very powerful. Righteous intellect changes behavior and attitude of the mind towards people, towards family, towards profession, towards daily life. When I identify that I am the body, I am sitting in a living room, my honey passes, we are meeting today for the first time, not talking to me. I identify myself body. I am the body. Hell, what the hell I'm sitting here? Means my body is sitting here. You don't have a manner to even wish me. I'm giving one example. It's very subtle. Very subtle. John, it's very subtle. Second intellect is known as dispassion intellect. So we have to develop the intellect which has a state of dispassion that removes pairs of opposites. What are the pairs of opposite? A feeling of attachment and detachment, feeling of likes and dislikes, feeling of profit and loss, feeling of pain and the pleasure. You internally you experience, you get the knowledge. What knowledge you get? You're walking in a street, you fell down, you return home and you start crying. What will happen? That crazy stone in the brick made me fall. Pairs of opposites. What has happened? Happened. Let me take care. Dispassion intellect. Dispassion intellect shows us how to remain calm in all the difficult, challenging conditions and situations and events of mind. Have you seen that some people, they have a little pain and they make it so big? It may be present in your family or near and the dear ones. Not a big deal. They make so big, they lack this dispassion in. When I studied for the first time, it took me a couple of months, years, and I'm still practicing. It's a matter because life is dynamic. Next moment is a different situation. Dispassion intellect means the knowledge of dispassion is there to hit back the mind. So, what happens by the dispassion intellect? It shows me the true nature of the world outside. What is the nature of it? I became angry yesterday, so my honey also became angry today. So, what's a big deal? No, I will not ask why you are laughing, but if you are laughing, it's good. Do you see that? It is the intellect that shows us. Okay, there is no problem. It's okay. Yesterday I did the same thing today you have done. It doesn't mean that we don't have a relationship, discussion. Do you see that? Third is known as real self intellect. If I translate, it is known as a Purusha intellect or real self intellect. Means what? I know my true identity all the time. I am real self, I am pure consciousness, I am permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom. Did I give you the story of mango? Huh? So because I am real self, put me anywhere. Oh existence, put me in any situation. I will remain sweet. Meditation, mindfulness is not so easy. Yes, it is very easy in the Google. 1 minute, 5 minutes of instant meditation. No, I'm not going there. Fourth intellect. Fourth intellect is tattva intellect. In Sanskrit word tattva, if I translate, that now I'm living and expressing and thinking and acting out of the real self. Four types. Who has it? You have it. When? Here and now. Why I don't see it? Mind is a camera. It is hiding. Because mind gives a different interpretation. You make a statement, and I will tell you from where this feeling and this thought has come. When the mind is like a mirror, not only you can read your thoughts and feelings from where they are coming, but you can also read the thoughts of others. And accordingly, your intellect comes into action and you make a chance. You change it. There are people who have done lessons for 3 years and they return back to. But one thing to appreciate, they are a great seekers. At least they return to me or anyone else. That's a different issue. And I was very tough on them, and they realize, yes, you are right. how to get out of it. So sometimes it takes time, and sometime when we understand the three processes I have been telling you: listening and learning. Second is contemplation and reflection. Reflection, how I behaved, how I spoke, how I reacted, how I acted in this situation. I did not remain mango. It is possible. We are all human beings, isn't it? It's possible. Possible only when we understand that this is the path. Self medication is not the path. Huh? Self medication, you already know it. I have already. This is also the path. This is the right way, by which not only I make myself happy, but I also make others. Anyhow, you have heard me. It's very good. You have digested it very good. You did not digest, so yes, that is also very good. So let us start our practice.